This week on CTV, we will be taking a look at the President's address from the Oval this afternoon.
After, we will go in-depth on the ASCSU meeting that took place last night regarding the recent acts of racism at CSU.
Following that story, we will also take a look into how students are responding to these incidents. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lauren Orcutt.
And I'm Bella Roberts.
This week has been a really hard week for students and faculty with the aftermath of the blackface photo. Today at the Fall Address, students were silently protesting with the same goal in mind, to get their voices heard.
I am deeply sorry for all the ways we have failed you. I know that you are angry, you are frustrated, you are sad, and most of all, you are tired.
It wasn't the way Colorado State University President Joyce McConnell probably envisioned her first fall address on the Oval. A student protest against a recent blackface incident on campus.
However, I want to pause here to make clear the burden should not be on our students. The burden is on us.
But students thought this was the best opportunity to let McConnell and the rest of the university know things must change.
Keep coming back to is it's really about intent versus impact, and for me it doesn't matter what your intent is, because if you keep focusing on your intent, you're not actually paying attention to the impact that you have, and if you're not paying attention to that impact, then you're never going to make that change that you need to.
I'm not an email. I'm not just an email letting people know about bias-related incidents. I'm a person who is genuinely fatigued and going through emotional and health issues because of this.
President McConnell has been on the job for 81 days, and she has seen the best and the worst of what can happen on this college campus. But students and others are determined to mark this day by stating that the campus and community will prevail.
Because we're only such a small population. It's their time to shine and rise to the occasion. We're sick of this.
As for the students, today their voices are heard, and they say they aren't going away.
I think just really that where we are right now, CSU has no choice but to continue working, and that we're not going to let them slide by this, and they know that. The people who I know and have talked to, they know that. And I'm a fourth year, I'm not going anywhere, I still have 2.5 years, and so if they think that this is just going to end because a bunch of us are going to graduate, it's a community, it's going to go on until we see the changes that we need.
For more information regarding the protest, as well as an exclusive, unedited interview from some of the people leading the protest, make sure to follow us on Twitter at CTV11.
"I am not proud to be a CSU Ram" was a quote heard many times last night.
CSU students, community members, and Colorado residents came together last night at the ASCSU Senate session to voice their concerns regarding the recent blackface photo and racism on CSU's campus.
When I saw that horrifying picture of all those people in blackface, I sat in my room and I cried, because for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why the color of my skin and why my history has always been so funny.
2 resolutions were passed, condemning the act of hate speech on the Colorado State University campus and accountability for hate speech against students. Each resolution will be moved to CSU administration for further discussion.
Circumstances, but here we are. On September 8th, barely into the school year, a group of first-year students thought it was lighthearted fun and appropriate to post a photo of them with charcoal face masks on, referencing the Black Panther movie as a joke.
The Black Student Alliance, Black Lives Matter, University of Northern Colorado, CSU Pueblo, Fort Collins School District members, Denver School District members, Fort Collins community members, CSU faculty, staff, and students, and CSU President Joyce McConnell were all in attendance at last night's event.
I'm proud of everyone in this room, whether you have allowed your voices to be heard or not. You are standing in this room.
Many speakers made statements similar to, "I am not proud to be a CSU Ram," and "This is not the first form of racism I've experienced on this campus."
All y'all here now, tomorrow, forever. We here.
For more information on these resolutions, you can visit ascsu.colostate.edu.
And over the past couple of days, I have met with students and they have opened up to me to tell me about their experience. Over the last week, students have told us about their experiences here at CSU. This is their story. This is their time to tell us about the anger, the disappointment, and the fear they have felt.
I felt really distraught afterwards just because it's my 4th year and things like that continue to happen.
Honestly, not too much on this campus surprises me anymore in terms of racism.
Shocked, to be honest. I was like, oh my goodness, are you serious?
I wouldn't say I could genuinely find words to describe it. It was one of those things where I was like, well, we're here again.
Action, of course, how can we be so ignorant?
Have the same shock factor anymore, it doesn't hurt as much, and becoming desensitized to that really kind of just takes a toll.
I guess sometimes it takes me a little bit to get angry about it, but as I let it just settle in, or as it settled in my thoughts or something, I got really upset. I got really mad because it's very deliberate, and I guess the way that students and people go about scapegoating their actions.
Time to get some change because we've been fighting for this for too long.
As Janae was saying earlier, if I have to make the decision every morning to be who I am or to go and get my education, who is that fair to?
We're not asking for punishment, we're just asking for acknowledgement and reform.
And for them to claim that it was just a mistake, just a simple mistake, it's not. And we know it's not. They knew what they were doing.
The initial response from the first email was terrible. I think that it discredited every single person's experience.
And then the university wants to be as impartial as possible in order to maintain an influx of dollar bills or whatever. And they give other people a platform, and that hurts. That's really disgusting.
That's embarrassing. You have people from all over the state last night coming up to show their support and stand in solidarity with us. That's embarrassing. You have people across the entire country who know what's going on this campus.
I care about authenticity. And maybe it takes me sitting down in a room with Joyce McConnell and looking her in the eye and feeling that authenticity, but I haven't felt that yet.
What kind of message are they sending to students? What kind of message are they sending to the people that make this university what it is?
To fellow students that we should keep going. We have a long road ahead of us. This is not something that's going to be done overnight. This is going to take many months, many times of planning, many meetings, many conversations, many different interactions, whether that's challenging or whether that's being confronted by somebody that we don't like. But just know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and we have to keep going to see our success.
This weekend, CTV will be airing an uncut compilation of all the interviews with students that have taken place throughout the week. Be sure to follow CTV on YouTube for more events from this past week as well.
On Wednesday night, CSU students were notified via email from university president about another incident involving disturbing symbols drawn on campus. This time, a swastika was said to have been drawn near a community coordinator's apartment of the Lodgepool building in CSU's Aggie Village. Given the recent blackface incident at our university and reports of anti-Semitic behavior on the rise across the U.S., we are deeply disturbed by this latest report, CSU President Joyce McConnell said in her email. University Housing hosted a roundtable on Wednesday to discuss racism, bias, and free speech at the university. Aggie Village will be scheduling one in the coming week. We will have more on this story as it develops. Tune into CTV News for all the information.
Since learning of the first vaping-related illness a month ago, the state of Colorado has confirmed more than 6 cases and 2 on Wednesday. Officials say 4 of the cases resulted in hospitalization and resulted from vaping marijuana, nicotine, and a combination of both. Health officials are urging people to stop vaping until they can figure out more information on why people are getting sick. Over 500 people have gotten sick across 38 states, with 7 deaths.
The city of Fort Collins has announced plans to open homeless overflow shelters this November to provide more space for the homeless battling the cold. The shelter will be located at the Community of Christ Church at 220 Oak Street. The plan will be for the church to act as an extra space for women, opening up more room for men at the 2 existing shelters. Social sustainability expert from the city, Sue Burkfess, told the Coloradoan the city will implement the same plan this year that worked well last year. Shelters last year remained open from the beginning of November until the end of April.
The local music venue, the Downtown Artery, will be closing their downstairs cafe and music hall. The company announced this in an article appearing in Salt magazine. The Artery moved into the 252 Linden Street space in 2013 and expanded to the downstairs area in 2015. Although the venue was popular among Fort Collins residents, downstairs manager Mike Adams told the Collegian that the space was not financially viable for a long time. The final show at the Artery will take place on October 19th, performed by Brick and Mortar as part of their What Matters Most tour.
The Larimer County Sheriff's Office announced today the McNave Fire, 35 miles northwest of Fort Collins, has been contained. The fire, 542-acre flames, burned since 11:45 on Sunday morning, causing the evacuations of the Glacier View Meadows neighborhood. The sheriff's office told the Coloradoan the fire burned grass, timber, and brush, mainly in the area.
You know, Bella, with this fire and the Horsetooth fire last week, I bet a lot of people are just ready for the snow.
I agree. I am also ready for the snow, Lauren.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's all the time we have for you. For news, stay tuned with James with weather.